It's time to start looking at that Jaguars defense. The Jaguars have put a lot of attention on adding to that linebacker room, Justin. A first-round pick last year and another early pick this year. Plus, they drafted Chad Muma last year, so they got a lot of young players there. Plus, since we're including outside linebackers in this, you got guys like Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen in the group. So a lot to talk about when you look at this position.
You know,
group.
that was, to me, I mean, you spent 2 first-round draft picks on this linebacking core. Last year, you had a Chad Muma as a second-day selection. So, I mean, you have spent a lot of capital. You got Foye Oluokun in free agency. You've invested a lot of money in this position, and I think you've got to get a lot more production in this. And I know they're expecting big things out of all these linebackers. Foye, Josh, Trayvon. Big year 2 in the system for these guys.
All right, so we've got 3 guys up here with us that all need to have bigger years this year than they had a year ago. Let's start with the rookies. Let's go with Devin Lloyd first. So Devin last year started the season phenomenal.
Right.
Started every game, played very well for the Jaguars at times, but then kind of hit that rookie wall. They're expecting big things from him this year, and the understanding is clear. I mean, he played a lot of football. Going into year 2, he should have a much better grasp of just what the Jaguars need him to do.
You look at the first month of the season last year, Devin Lloyd is being mentioned as a potential defensive rookie of the year.
Right.
He slipped. Jamal said he hit that wall, and I think you talk to Devin, he knows he has to do better. He addressed that. The coaching staff addressed that. It's a long season for those guys making that college jump, and Devin Lloyd maybe too much too soon for him, but again, I think year 2 for Devin Lloyd is going to be a breakout year. He looked good in camp.
Now, a guy that I think is going to have a breakout year this year is the guy behind you. Looks like he might be trying to hit you, Trayvon Walker there. Trayvon didn't exactly have the pass rush production that a lot of people want to see when you take a guy #1 overall. Yeah. But I think the Jaguars kind of knew going in that he was going to be that work in progress, and that last year wasn't going to be this huge sack production kind of resume for the guy.
And you saw that in week 1. He looked very good in week 1, but he had those kind of flubs and issues where, you're learning the system, you're learning a new position. I mean, at Georgia, he was not an every down linebacker. He played everywhere. So, again, last year was a first year in the system for Trayvon Walker. You're learning the new system, new defense, new everything, new defensive coordinator, Mike Caldwell. So everything is brand new last year. Trayvon, I think the consensus around Jaguars land is he is poised for a massive second season.
Yeah. And one thing, I picked this picture in very specifically because he started the year standing up, and this year you're going to see him doing a whole lot more of that. Down on the line of scrimmage where he's just a little bit more comfortable.
And I think that position works for him. I think it works for him.
It definitely does. So I think we're going to see a very different Trayvon Walker out on the field. I got to catch up with him before the draft, and he's in a very different place than he was a year ago. So confident that 44 is going to be in the backfield a lot. Hopefully, we're seeing him in 41 racing to the quarterback because Josh Allen is in a contract year, so I know he wants to rack up the sacks.
It's time. We've seen so many good things from Josh Allen since he came here as the #7 pick, but again, you've seen too much inconsistency. You've seen injuries kind of sap a little bit of that burst early on, but he was a Pro Bowl guy in his first year in the league. A contract year. This is huge. This is huge for Josh Allen. He is going to get paid, whether that's in Jacksonville or another team, but it would be nice to get paid at the top of the market, which a breakout season for Josh Allen could do. We keep saying untapped potential. He could get there. When's it going to happen? This is the year for Josh Allen to make it happen.
It has to come together this year, so we'll look and see. Now, the big story throughout some of the off-season program for the Jaguars was that Josh Allen wasn't there. It's because he was with his own trainers, just focusing on his game because he knows just how much he has on the line this year. He's played well. He played good for the Jaguars last year, but to be the kind of player that he wants to be and to get paid like the kind of player he wants to get paid like, he knows he's got to get back into those double digits. And when we say double digits, I'm talking low to mid-teens of sacks for the season.
You need 10, 11 sacks out of Josh Allen.
I
don't think that is – I think that's the low end. I mean, you can't have a 6-sack year if you're Josh Allen and expect – I mean, the Jaguars' defense is so predicated on those rush ends having big seasons. And when you look at a guy like Josh Allen, he's that guy. No Trayvon Walker, year 2, #1 pick. Josh Allen has got to be the guy that unlocks that potential.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up by asking you a question because I already know what my answer is. If Trayvon Walker, Josh Allen both have double-digit sacks this year, we planning a trip to Vegas?
You could. Defense, you know, it's been talked about all season. They don't have a pass rusher, but I think they've got the pass rushers in the building. They just need to unlock that potential.
I think if both those guys have the seasons that we think they can have, I'm just saying, you know, we might be planning a trip to Vegas. All right, training camp is right around the corner. We're counting down the days. Once training camp does get here, don't forget the best place to get all your coverage right here on Channel 4. You'll also be able to find plenty of it over on News4jags.com underneath that handy-dandy sports page.